All right, so I've been wanting to make this video for a little bit in addressing realistic expectations. So here's what I mean. We've had families that have been caring for the loved one in their home one on one for months, sometimes even years. Yes, they've been caring for the loved one's every single need for years. That means any assistance that's needed, escorting to the bathroom, incontinence care, feeding, dressing, grooming, anything with the ADLs, activities of daily living, they've been doing it at their homes for the loved one on one for months or years at a time. So the question that we get asked is, can if we place, right, if we place them in an assisted living memory care, will they get the same level of attention and care that I was doing at home? So the honest answer and the realistic answer is no. Okay, no one is going to get that dedicated level of care and attention, meaning that one on one, in any setting. Okay, that's going to be assisted living, memory care, or even in a nursing home, even in hospitals, by the way. Um, it's just they're not staffed to that capacity. Now, having said that, they do an outstanding job in providing the care, the oversight. For example, in assisted living, you're talking about helping with activities of daily living, dressing, grooming, incontinence care, escorting to dining, medication management. Staff will check on your loved one at a minimum every 2 hours. But will they do what you are doing at home one on one around the clock? The answer is no. Okay. If you're looking for the high level of attention and care beyond once they're placed in an assisted living or memory care, you would have to look at potentially contracting services like private duty services to amplify what the assisted living or memory care is already doing. Now, the goal is for that to not be needed. There are times that that could be optimum, but it's extremely expensive if you go down that route. Okay. So the reason I want to bring this up is because it is a common question, especially for folks that are hesitant in transitioning their loved ones, because their whole thing is, well, will they get what I'm giving them at home? Honest answer is not quite the way you were doing it at home, but they will get significant attention and care and nutrition in an assisted living and memory care. Okay. The other thing to keep in mind is if you are providing a high level of care at home for your loved one around the clock, how long can you realistically do that for before jeopardizing your own health, your own needs, your own mental health? That's what we also see happen over time. People, understandably so, will do their absolute best as long as they can for their loved one until something happens, right? And they can no longer do that. Common question is, what happens when the caregiver ends up in the hospital? Who's caring for that individual that needed care? And more importantly, are your affairs in order, your estate planning, power of attorney? Because all this stuff, guys, is extremely important. So I wanted to address that in this video, uh, because there are hesitations in placing your loved one, and again, understandably so. But then the questions you have to ask yourselves are, can you do this at home realistically, one on one for your loved one, especially if they have advanced dementia, right? And if you can, for how long? Okay. And do you have the resources to keep them at home safe? So if the answer is yes, you can do this at home for your loved one, and you have the resources, paying a caregiver to come in around the clock to help you, because that can get very expensive at about $30 to $34 an hour in today's world. Uh, then by all means, right? But then what happens is when that is no longer the case, or that is no longer safe for the individual that's being cared for, more importantly for the caregiver, because caregiver burnout is a real thing, right? Now what? So, to alleviate some of this, I just want to make this video, reassure folks that yes, it's not going to be quite the way you were doing it at home, but it's still going to be a phenomenal option for them to receive care, attention, and then you can visit them, of course, and go back to being the son, the daughter, the spouse versus a caregiver, which is very important. And if they need additional care and attention, whether it's an assisted living memory care, you have the option to contract caregivers on top of that if you find that that's necessary, but that can be pricey as well. So I hope this helps.